Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to week 3 of the Aegis Vanguard League. I'm Beautiful Crow. That is Ponstar Shibi. We have a pretty fun matchup here today between the number one ranked team, Dare Black, and the bottom ranked team, Meme City Esports. 2-0 versus the 0-2. Shibi, this one's gonna be a 2-0 stop, or maybe we get an underdog victory. We'll have to see.
We might get an upset like last week, right? We did see two teams go head to head last week, and the underdog did come out in that game. Obviously, it isn't as big of an underdog, like you said. This is the lowest ranked team, Meme City Esports. They are 0-2. They've only taken one game out of the 5 games that they have played. While on the other side, you have Dare Black, who's gone 2-0, and they've only dropped one game in the 5 games that they've played.
Yes.
Um, I think these teams are actually a lot closer than people want to think. I don't think this league is, top heavy or anything like that. I think, like a famous quote, like people in the NFL say, like everybody's good, right? Everybody that's in this league deserves to be in it, and everybody's good. Nobody is necessarily like significantly worse, right? It's not like a bronze versus a diamond. These are guys are all masters, grandmasters, diamond. I mean, it's an uncapped league, and what people don't realize is that a lot of these teams might have been playing for a while together, right? Meme City Esports. I know I've seen them around in
Seen them around.
XLNC, in
Yep.
Risen, right? Maybe they've changed the roster. I know a lot of these guys have kind of been playing together for a while, and so that cohesion can kind of help. Well, on the side of Dare Black, you might have some new names. I know the Dare organization is very, very storied. I like seeing them around. I know you've casted for them before. I've seen their games in a lot of the other leagues. Mabud is somebody I recognize a lot, or Mabud. He's very, very strong. Grim as well on the AD carry side. But let's going to get into pick and draft or everything like that as we see a Graves, Tom, and Diana bans coming out from Meme City Esports. While on the side of Dare Black, they're banning the Zinzao, the Ziggs, and the Viego. These are all picks that are just highly contested. I think
Yeah.
Graves is a jogger special. He plays a lot of Graves and Diana. While Zinzao is just something you have to ban on red side if you don't want to give it away. Same thing with Viego and Ziggs. Like these are all must bans essentially.
Right. Yeah. Taking that Graves away from joggers. Don't want the cowboy to go crazy this time. And taking off the Zigs and Viego, the Zen, three staples. We see them a lot. They do a lot of crazy work. The Tom has seen a bit more play after the changes that he's had. It's still kind of weird to gauge his power at the moment. So some teams maybe not being super familiar with that. Going to go and take that off the table so they don't have to worry about it. Good pickup for the Varus and Syndra here. Very poke heavy, long distance engage with their stuns and snares, and just like a good backline, solid high damage dealing backline for the team on Dare. Hopefully they can, buff that up with a good front line, some more meat shields, initiations, and peelers. We can get into that. And Meme City picking up the Seraphine. I've been seeing a little bit of Seraphine since she had her buffs. The item still good for her. Whether you take that in mid or down in the bot lane, still up to you. And the pickup to the Jin rather. Seraphine Jin is not fun to play against. That's a lot coming at you from a safe distance that they can have. So good answer. And Olaf's okay. So I like that pickup
Olaf,
there.
Olaf and Deveris is so
Yeah.
scary, right? And
So scary.
especially too immobile. And the one thing to know about the Seraphine pick is that I think Meme City actually, they took it away from Dare Esports or Dare Black, because Grim actually has 2 games played so far this season on him. They
Right.
like to stick Grim or Sarah. They like to send Grim on these more supportive style ADCs or utility, bot laners. He played the Seraphine. I mean, he does 1 game of Vayne and 1 game of Varus. I I think Varus is more. I wouldn't call him like a pure ADC, depending on the build he goes. Right, he provides a lot
Yeah.
of utility with his ultimate. He provides a lot of poke with his Q, and picking up for joggers is that Kindred. That's his like third most played, or that's what he defaults to once his Graves and Diana is pretty much gone. Kindred is the pickup that they're willing to go, and I want to see how Dare play around these marks. I think for Kindred to be super successful, you have to have a team that understands,
Strategy.
priorities
Yeah.
and how to play around their marks. Well, Olaf is just, it kind of is a terror into Syndra,
Yeah.
Varus, right? Because Syndra wants to stun you up. That's how her main disengage into ganks. But if Olaf's running at you full mock speed with his ultimate out, I mean, you can't really do anything about it. And
That's
you
scary.
also, yeah, you also have a Seraphine there to just buff up. I mean, if the Seraphine also goes the Shirelia's build that we've seen, I mean, that's a very fast Olaf coming at you with shields and heals. And you have Jin just popping people in the backline. So I kind of like Meme City's composition. It makes sense, and I'm gonna see. It's gonna be super interesting to see how they round out their composition. While on the side of Dare, it feels like they just have a lot of comfort as we see more bands coming out. Ari, Karma, Thresh, and Gang playing. So these are more
Yeah,
target bands.
target bands. Yeah, definite target bands coming out. Dare is in a sticky spot right now because being double marksman automatically means you have to have great peel and great initiation because most of your lanes are not going to be doing a lot of the initiating. Picking up the Braum here is pretty good. There's the peel and the situational engage, flash gate, glacial fissure, or flash Q. Having a Braum with double marksman can make the early game a little bit swayed in their favor. Braum's level one, pretty undeniably strong, if we'd like to say, getting marks on everybody. And when you have multiple ranged carries able to proc the marks on across multiple people, it makes team fights better for you. Meme City's going to reply with the Alistair pick.
So this Seraphine's probably going mid then, right?
Mid,
Like that
yeah, we're
is
suspecting that's a mid Seraphine going in for them. And I mean, respectable. Like we said, she's strong enough to go into either lane she wants to at the moment. And the Renekton, okay. So yeah, that's a scary composition right there.
definitely scary, but I'm worried on the damage side for Meme City Esports, right? They have two very early game focused champions in the Olaf and the Renekton. I don't think they scale insanely well. I mean, Olaf, he can kind of get that 2, 3 items with the, Gore Drinker, Stayrax,
Yeah.
and try to look to really push that early to mid game. But it feels like once it gets past 20, 25 minutes, Dare kind of has the advantage with the Kindred stacking and the marks and the Kindred.
Ooh,
Yeah, and then a Trundle as well coming into here.
okay.
I so this is me, right? I don't really love Trundle unless there's like a pure tank on the side of
Yeah.
the enemy team. Usually you see the Trundle as a counter pick to the Tom Kench or
Right.
like a Scion, an Ornn, a Sejuani in the jungle matchup. But Trundle has just been seeing a lot of play, and I think once these kinds of S tier junglers are taken out, the Diana, the Graves, the Viego, the Zinzao, you kind of can default to pretty much anything, right? Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever fits
Yeah.
compositionally. I think Trundle Pillar does allow for a lot of setup on the damage, right? It allows
Yeah.
Varus to hit his Qs. It allows Diana. It allows Syndra to hit her stun easier. It allows Kindred to chase better. I mean, it's just a good setup, and it slows. So I understand the utility, but I just feel like Trundle, he'll pretty much probably be only ulting either Renekton or Alistar here. There's no real use, ulting the Olaf as he loses a lot of his resistance when
Yeah.
he ultimates. So I like the pick if they're just setting up for these poke and these kind of area denial or movement denial composition. I really like what Dare is bringing, but yeah, Meme City Esports. Apologies,
Ooh,
just feels like they are lacking on the damage front unless the Seraphine goes that Luden's build that we've seen before, Crow.
yes. That's really it's interesting because like you want it to succeed. You want the Seraphine to build AP so all of her skills will be maximized. But they are in a considerably good place. With the Renekton and Olaf are just gonna be straight banger damages, but they do have to have a job of getting to these
Mhm.
carries and the marksman on the side of Dare and Trundle. So the thing is, yes, Olaf can Ragnarok his way out of hard CC, but a well-placed Trundle pillar is just like the biggest nope card you can play in League of Legends. And it does such a good job. They have so much area control that Dare Black has. Braum, Fissure, Trundle, Pillar, Kindred, throw down Wolf, let him have a few bites at somebody. Syndra, the orbs everywhere, step up too far. It's just a lot of zone control on the side of Dare Black, whereas Meme City has a very much, all right, these three guys are going to run at you, and these other two are going to sit a pretty good distance back and do what they can do. The only magic damage threat really being the mid lane here for Meme City with Seraphine does make itemization pretty easy on the side of Dare, though, as well.
Yeah, and you hear me talk about this all the time, and this is a concept that you're, wholly familiar with, Crow, and it's the concept of like footsies in League of Legends. I feel like
Yes.
Meme City Esports, they gotta, dodge in and out. They gotta like watch where they're going because Dare Black, like you said, zone control, right? They have so many tools to just, force you to go in ways that you sort of don't want to. And there are objectives in this game like Dragon and Baron where there are only 2, maybe 3 maximum entrances, depending if you have like a dash or a blast plant. So if you have to come through ramp, if you have to come through that river choke, like you're going to take damage from Dare Black. They're gonna pillar you. They're gonna shoot you with a Varus Q. Syndra's gonna stun you, throw orbs at you. Like you're gonna have to take punishment whether you like it or not if you're Meme City. And if you're not onto objectives first, if you're not at that dragon, you're not in that river, if you're not posturing before Dare Black, I think it's gonna be really hard for them to even walk into the objectives. Yeah, you do have the Seraphine with the shielding, with the healing, but there's just so much damage coming out on the side of Dare Black with the Varus Qs, Syndra Balls, and then Kindred Wolf, like you said. I mean, she can kind of play in and out because of her Q cooldown. It's going to be difficult for Meme City to set these objectives up, and I feel like they have to start strong in the early game, like minutes 1 through 8. Like Jinchu on the side of Meme City Esports has to put in work. He has to get Renekton ahead. They have to try to get Alistar and Jin ahead. Like I feel like if they're even or if they're only down, if Dare Black's only down like 1,000 gold or 1.5k gold, I think that that's actually a win for them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If they're down, like if they break even and they go or down a little bit, like it's so scary, The scaling on the side of Dare Black, like once we hit that 20-minute mark, you're just like, all right, one Q from Varus or Syndra will literally delete half my health. But it will also be very keen to watch the jungle matchup between Joggers and Jinshu because Olaf, being pretty good in the early game, can counter jungle and take away the marks from joggers. And a kindred without their marks is kind of, I don't want to say completely useless, but you just become an alt bot. You wait for their engage to hit you, drop down the ultimate, the Lamb's Respite, just so you can chill out for a hot minute. But allowing Kindred to get their marks and allowing Lamb to get that extra range and extra damage is paramount for joggers. And it's going to be interesting to see if Meme City can capitalize on these little key gameplay elements, because yes, this is a very scaly comp from Dare Black, but Meme City has a pretty strong early game with, Renekton and Olaf, and Seraphine does considerably well. One thing to note before we take it to a quick break after looking at these lineups, both mid laner and marksman on the side of Meme City took Flash Cleanse because of all the CC and the crazy effects that are going on Dare Black. So that's going to be something we need to look out for. So with that being said, we're going to let the timer tick down and we're going to get into that spectator delay and get everything nice and pretty and packaged to go for this game 1 between Meme City Esports and Dare Black. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Aegis Vanguard League Week 3, Game 1. I am your colorcaster, Pone Star. Should be here with my man, the play-by-play fanatic, the beast, beautiful Crow.
Gang, what's up with ya? All right, we get into this thing. 0-2 team versus a 2-0 team. Ah, man, it's gonna be interesting. Maybe we can have an upset. Like last week, we didn't get the predicted winners like everybody thought so. We're gonna get predictions to go in the chat here in a moment, but it seems on paper, we should see Dare Black come away with this quick 2-0. But Meme City are gonna try to give them a run for their money and to prove us all wrong. And with this competition, this composition, this early game focus, fight them as much as possible type of composition, it should be pretty interesting to see what they're gonna cook up.
Yeah, and just to give you a rundown of all the players on the left side, on the blue side, we have Meme City Esports, we have Frez in the top lane, Jinchu in the jungle, Killering in the mid lane, Hung Nung in the bottom lane ADK role, and Afternoon in the support role. On the side of Dare Black, we have Mabud in the top lane, Joggers in the jungle, Koskinen in the mid lane, Grim in the AD carry role, and John Francis in the support role. And I've seen a lot of these guys, I've seen a lot of these players in the amateur scene, and some on other teams, Mabud, Grim, Killering, Frez, like these guys, I've seen them all around. These guys are very good players. I mean, you have to believe that these teams are familiar with themselves, with each other, right? Like this isn't a brand new squad versus a brand new squad. I mean, you have to believe that you guys see each other in solo queue, in amateur tournaments, in other leagues. Like it's not as easy as just, trying to cheese somebody. These guys know your habits, your laning phases, what you like to do. They're probably watching VODs. I mean, a lot of these teams in these uncapped leagues have coaches also coaching them, right? So
Right.
it's a lot difficult to cheese here, and you've got to be on your A game.
Yeah, gotta be on the A game. Coaches helping you out as well. All those hours of solo queue practice. Speaking of practice, Koskinen been hitting that shooting range, that target practice. Good landing on the orbs here. It's a very poke heavy matchup, you know, Seraphine versus Syndra. Syndra definitely wins out in the power department, but you know, Seraphine with the utility department might have to edge up on that. We'll have to go back and visit that, but it's pretty standard phase rush into Airy, but it's top lane, two meat sticks beating each other down.
Ooh,
And
and looks like Trundle.
yeah, it's, I mean, you got that region, you know. Yes, both have heals on their abilities and innate, but like a fixed amount versus a percentage amount is kind of a little bit of a difference there. And Trundle just he duels very well, I like to say. Played him in like multiple roles, but the 1v1 is he's just so good at that.
Ooh, and it looks like they're gonna greed for these stacks here.
They're
And
going for it. They're going for it. There's a stun off the Braum passive his proc, cleanse, flash,
Oh!
flash forward to follow. Jean-Francois Sweet Fontaine, that man is going in. Claims the first kill for himself, gets the first blood. And yeah, that's that danger we're talking about. Early game Braum, one of the most annoying things to find up against as... Oh, I thought that had been actually interesting. But yeah, he's claiming to kill for himself. Normally you don't want the first blood to go on your support, but he's going to take it for himself because he definitely earned it. Now Braum passive, you know, Winter's Bite, just
they're not gonna get
so
they're not gonna get this stack, are they? They're just gonna get denied this, even though they get the kill in the bot lane. I don't know if that was the right call on Dare to recall after the kill. They should have definitely been up into that, you know, river side in that bottom lane river and just look to support Kindred and get that stack. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication on the side of Joggers or Grim in them, but yeah, I think that's just a complete misplay from Dare. They needed to. I think they should have not reset, but they should have definitely gone and supported Kindred in that um, mark there, at least get her rolling. But they opt to take the reset after the kill. Summoners are burned on the bottom lane, right? So Hung Nung and Afternoon both have to play very, very safe. Although Alistar does have the Ignite, it feels like Grim with the Summoner spell advantage of the Flash heal, as both junglers are showing up in the bottom lane.
They're showing up. They're right here, and he gets stunned up. Jean-Francois is able to jump out, thankfully, but the follow-through from Afternoon is there. The heal has been burned, but everybody's so low. Health bars are so low. As Joggers will get the kill on the Jin.
Jin is chasing.
Hung is chasing. Force shot comes out. That's a kill. The speed boost, but it gets slowed immediately by that Winter's Bite, preventing the chase from happening. God, you saw how low everyone was on the side of Dare there. And it was just the timing, you know, you want to fight an Olaf when he's charging at you like that. Like, it's insane. But thankfully, Hung was in the right spot at the right time, not really touched throughout that fight, able to put down the damage. And yeah, just that's Meme City turning it on its head.
Yeah, able to get a kill back onto their Jin. He's going to like that little extra gold in that pocket after the little early game mishap there. Varus did end up getting the assist. I actually thought he got the kill onto the Meme City guys, but it ended up Kindred getting it, I think, with Lamb and some in the red buff. So a little bit unfortunate. You'd like to see those kills onto the Varus, and he did go Hail of Blades this match as well, so we might see an on-hit Varus. He can still opt in to poke. I mean, you don't... Comet isn't a necessity for poke Varus. It just adds a little... Yeah, it just adds a little bit of extra oomph, right, in the early game, and then, like, just gives you a little bit extra damage, but the thing is, with Hail of Blades, you can still get the stacks off. You can stack your Blight stacks really quickly and get that quick charge WQ off. So I like Hail of Blades even on Poke Varus if it is going to be Poke Varus. So the itemization and what this Varus can go is going to be compositionally whatever Dare wants, right? They may want the poke into the objectives, or they just may want that consistent DPS threat. I feel like the poke is better here just because they do have a Kindred and she can apply that like consistent auto attack 80 carry damage in that jungle role. So we're gonna see how Dare looks to pilot this Varus. Varus, not comp, but Varus champion.
Yeah, speaking of pilot, though, but can he pilot this 2v1, stay alive in time? And yes, the ultimate wholesale subjugation will keep him alive as Jinchu shows up, and here is Koskinen with that TP play to back up his bud, gets him a kill. So 2 kills going over the top and mid. Great timing for Dare Black. Piloted perfect, got his co-pilot, call him Goose. This is Top Gun. It's over. Dare Black doing so well in this early game, as we were talking about how Meme City needed to get ahead in this early game for this composition to come online. And Terror Black, they're just making sure it doesn't happen for them.
Yeah, and it looks like Grim is gonna opt into the poke Varus. I really like it. I think Halo Blaze just allows that flexibility, right? Of on hit versus poke, and you still do a lot of damage. You're not missing anything out too much without the comment. You're just losing some of that like maybe early game aggression or early game poke advantage that you have. But it looks like they're piloting this lane really well. And yeah, really good on Mabud. I mean, this guy just works magic. I've seen him play on different organizations, different amateur league teams, and he's always kind of like I wouldn't say he's the star player all the time, but he definitely is the very reliable. You know, he can play all styles. He plays tanks. I've seen him bust out the Darius, the Silas. I've seen him bust out so many different top lane picks, and he's very flexible in that manner. And the Trundle is just another champion in his array. But Koskinen is actually, gonna flash out.
Oh, feels bad. Perfect timing on that flash. Not a good follow up coming in from Killering to layer the CC on to be able to get that kill. And yeah. Koskinen gonna take the ignite for the flash. Afternoon tried his best, got the combos off, got the damage out, but it's only an Alistar as they will decide, to take the blue buff. Jean-Francois trying to get it, almost got it, but Jinshu, they did manage to get the first dragon on Meme City, and it's Infernal, so good for them on that. But they really gotta find an answer soon to counter.
Frez?
Ooh, the smite is there, so that's a mark for them.
No. The mark is on
that wasn't a mark. That was the
that was the blue buff. Mark is actually on the Gromp here, and Frez doing a really good job of denying. But I don't know if you want to miss these minions. Like Mabud will just freeze it on you and force you to come in. Like
yeah. The CS is even right now though, so you know he's slightly okay with it there, I would say. But you know it's that mental.
Corrupting.
I think he can get out here. Afternoon should be good here. He's walking it off. Oh, I say that as he eats a huge chunk. Flash forward to confirm the kill. Grim will take that credit finally and give him that kill that he so rightfully deserves. That lethality, man, it's so strong. As another 1v2 gank from a Bud.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, you've seen it before.
They're not gonna dive him. He has Conqueror stacks. Pretty sure he has Subjugate up as well, and he has the Fade Sheen combo.
He landed. Jean-Francois with the ultimate. Good flash to the side step go from Hung. Wow, that was super ballsy for him to go for, especially how low health he was. That shows you that this man, he does not care if he gives his life as long as his marksman gets the kill. That's all that matters. But flash for flash trade, or flash for ultimate trade rather.
Yeah, if you're Jean-Francois, you probably really love that trade. As a Koskinen is probably gonna get caught out here.
There's four
people.
Wait, I've seen this one before. And unfortunately, Koskinen will go down.
Well, Bud's got to get out of there. He's got to hightail it. There's no way he feels safe.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting situation to find herself in. He knew there was no way for him to get out. So we'll have to go down and...
going for that deep vision. I feel like Syndra was trying to go for that deep vision, trying to track where the jungler is. Kind of found him, but not in the right spot. Was just... kind of got collapsed on. Good roam by Afternoon. It wasn't necessarily needed, but just the fact that he went up there and he faced and he started roaming.
He's on a ward. Ooh, Grim did not know he was on a ward. He's dead here. No flash. Does have the heal, but he's gonna blow. Oh wow, I thought that was gonna happen right there. The arrow coming out. 1v2 in the top lane. Reverse gank this time. This time, Mabud has friends, and it's joggers. One more hit, hit. Subjugate. He's gonna burn down.
The fadeaway. He did Kobe style, man.
Oh man, yes. Mabud on this Trundle, asserting his dominance, showing who the real king of this top lane is. And I guess Giant Club beats Sitar, so it's looking really good right now for Dare in this early game. And the transition is just so cool.
Yeah. And Mabud's making me eat my words. I was talking about the Trundle pick and how I didn't really like it unless it's into a tank. But, I mean, just the fact that he's honestly just dominating this top lane, was able to navigate that 1v2 gank early on in the tower dive, get a kill and walk out, and now brought his own jungler over and able to exert his will onto Frez as well. Now he's 2-0. That Trundle's probably going to pick up a Divine Sunder. He's probably going to be a menace in that top lane, pushing towers. And really, I don't see a world where Renekton can trade into Trundle anymore, right? Once he picks up, the Divine Sunder, Renekton has to go Iron Spike, whip into plated steel caps, and that's not looking good. And if you're a Renekton, you want the early game advantage, right? Like you pick that champion for lane dominance. You pick it to get to early objectives and be a force to be reckoned with. But you're 0-2 now. I don't know how Frez gets into that. As Afternoon is gonna get ganked.
Oh, it's over. He has to flash out, burns the ultimate, but there's multiple stunning ultimate as Grim will claim the kill on Afternoon, trading tower aggro, making sure nobody goes down. Joggers will drop the Herald too. Hung
John Francois.
Oh man, he's dead. Tries to get something out of it. Here is Jinshu to maybe clean up something.
Jinshu might die.
Yeah,
Jinshu
the
might
tower
die
is down.
Oh, okay.
Well, does have Killer in here to back him up. It's not. They don't see him over the side just yet. Power core goes out. The Encore will land onto 2, but the Lamb's Respite is keeping him alive. But that's an Olaf. He's low, but he won't be able to get a kill. No, will go down in the exchange. So that's 2 kills. And
just beating him. Just beating him senseless.
Oh, the Dominus has to pop. Still has to flash. Will come a little bit of health. He's going under the tower. Fade away. Fade away. And it's again. Oh my god. Oh no.
He's just styling now, right? My butt is just styling. This guy plays Trundle. I don't know. This guy has a secret account. He is just playing
there's
that
the Mastery Flash.
The Mastery Flash as well. He knew exactly how much damage he needed. Flash, Q, Subjugate, and the walk away, man. Cool guys. They don't look at explosions, but Mabud doesn't even look at his kills. Gets the tower, gets the crocodile or the alligator. Forget what he actually is. But that's almost a near ace, right? 4 people on the side of Meme City Esports died. I believe Killering was the only one that lived. So now you have a 6K gold lead at 13 minutes. The comp that was supposed to get ahead early is behind by a lot. And the comp that was supposed to have not necessarily a rough early game, but it was definitely not supposed to have this much control is super far ahead. 7K gold now. Varus already has Dustblade. Syndra already has the Leandries. Trundle has the Divine Sunder. Like any objective that you try to set up, anything you try to contest, it just feels like Dare just kind of has it in control right now. 7K gold at 14 minutes is I'm not gonna say it's doomed, right? But it's looking really, really grim.
It's looking very, very rough, very grim indeed. And the man is on fire, 3-1-3 here in this Varus. And it's so sad to see, you know, Meme City, they had this plan, they wanted to execute it properly, and it just was not happening for them. And they're just going to play with it now. They have their lead, they're going to play with it. No vision on the top side of this map. Well, it's one control ward, I should say, in the river bush. But Frez is just not in a place where he can fight anything. In fact, he can get aggressed on right here as, 3 members of Dare are going to chase him down. The Croc is pretty fast. He can get out. They're just going to muscle him out of river. But if you're Meme City, you're trying to ask yourself, what can we do to get through this? What can we do to get past this hump and get into this game? As they're just collapsing on this mid tier 2 tower. There are 3 here. Oh man, the gold lead is very high. The kill lead and the item lead also very high, coincidentally enough. And they're just going to run away with this first game. And Meme City are just kind of searching for answers like, what can they do in this situation? What would be the avenue to get them back into this game here, Shibby? Because honestly, it's looking like an open shut case.
I mean, I think what you have to do is you kind of have to try to take some unfair fights, possibly with Meme City Esports. If you can catch one of these guys out, maybe just gank the Trundle, sack some of the objectives, and try to just kill Trundle, right? Send 3 or 4 for him if he's splitting that top lane. Like, you clearly aren't going to win a 4v4. You may not even win the 5v4, even if Frez can TP down. I think it's best to try to, like, maybe sack one of the dragons as they're setting it up and try to get Mabud. Now, Mabud is a very smart player. He may not overextend, and he may just keep himself safe for that dragon fight. But right here, right? Like, you try to get these fights here. This is 3v2 right now. You know, Jinshu's on the side. These are the kind of fights you take. Unfair fights.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely something they want to catch up. Can Kosh can get out? He won't. He will. Didn't get over the dragon pit, but still managed to get away. Little picks like that. It's a good step in the right direction for Meme City, but they're going to have to get a lot more.
Yeah, they're going to need like about 8 or 9 more beautiful before they can even get close to evening the gold. And one thing to note for Meme City Esports is that they actually don't have a true mid lane player, right? Killering and Afternoon are both support players. Now, you can play some of these support champions in the mid lane. It's just not as effective, right? We see them, you know, trying to do it with Killering, and I think that's possibly what may be holding them back in these games and just generally in their record. As Killering, he's played Lissandra, he's played Cassiopeia, Ari, Lulu. Like, he's tried to play these mages in the mid lane with varying success, probably, you know, little to no success, only having 1 game on the Lulu, and it just feels like not having somebody that plays mid as their main role or is an avid mid player, doesn't play the control mages, the ADs, everything like the AD mids like Lucian, Viego, and Irelia and all these kinds of champions, it just limits your team and it forces you to put champions or players on carries that traditionally may not want to play carries, right? It makes the mid laner a role player, which in my opinion, you don't ever rarely want to do unless you have like a superstar top laner or a superstar ADC.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note of that because if all your lanes are losing that you want to win, and then you have the one lane that isn't necessarily losing but isn't the best position to carry, it looks really rough for you. And Seraphine was introduced as somewhat of a mid lane champion, has most of her abilities do damage and whatnot, but she does have more of that utility role in the same way like Azure Jhin. They do damage, but they do have a lot more utility to their kit as well. It's just really going to be rough for Meme City to force these objectives and force these fights, and unless they get like good flash encores into abundance of damages, it's just going to be real difficult for them. So in the meantime, though, Dare is going to trade Meme City's mid lane tower for this Ocean Drake because they can
possibly top lane as well.
Also
yeah,
for sure.
They might get inhib as well. I don't know if that's the right play necessarily, taking inhib so early, but if Dare can close it out, if they can, possibly wait for this Baron that's going to come up in about a minute and a half, somebody's going to be soaking up super minion gold here. And generally, you like to see, the concept that's been heard or been told around the league, right, and what pro players say, and analysts and coaches, like, you don't want to really take the inhib unless there's an objective to take. You want to take it up so early. But if you're in Dare's position, if you're 8,000 gold as the mid lane is getting dived here,
afternoon's going down. It's not a good afternoon for him. 0-3-3 on this Alistar, but yeah, like you were saying, taking those early inhibitors just allows someone to get basically catch-up experience. Jinchu, you don't want to walk that way.
That's a lot of damage.
Encore went wide from Killering, so that's that massive team fight ultimate that Meme City needed. That's gone for up to a minute, and Baron spawning in a minute. It will be up by the time they get there, but it might be too late at that junction because that's that ultimate that you want to have in the fight to stop everybody from jumping out so you can throw your damage on, and it's not there anymore. So that's Dare, just exerting their pressure, forcing fights that they know they can take that Meme City can't. And we're just looking, fighting for the objectives. Jogger's on the Jinchu right now. He got his stack, so he has the extra range. He's able to bully Jinchu out as much as possible. But this is a 4v4 situation here. Grim will take down Afternoon as the first casualty. This is a 1v1 in the bot lane for a tower, but once again,
Chain of Corruption just goes wide.
Dare coming out on top.
Yeah, and honestly, it's getting bleaker and bleaker, right? They're going to reset. These guys are going to reset. They're going to take all the standing gold that they're going to spend all of it. They're going to come back, and just, take this Baron probably right in front of their faces. They don't have to sneak it. They don't have to worry about it as Mabud has the Hull Breaker, has the Divine Thunder. It's going to push turrets down like nobody's business. And yeah, you're going to need to send 2-3 guys to stop him. Like, it's no question, right? He has Hull Breaker. He's got Divine Thunderer. He's got the attack speed steroid with his W. Like, his Q does damage to turrets again. He got the Divine Thunderer stacks on the turret. Like, he is a tower pushing menace, and Frez can't even handle him. Under tower, you couldn't even handle him. Like, this 1v1, like, there's no way you take this, right?
Yeah, he does have the Executioner's Calling finally, but it's a little too late. Send 1, 2, 3 people down to stop my bud, but like they can't afford to do that, Like you said, with Baron being up, it's just looking real bad for Meme City in this first game as Joggers aggressing on the Afternoon. Woo! And take him out. That percentage damage, Kraken Slayer plus the Wolf's Bite, just absolutely nice. And now they're just gonna go for Baron because they know they can take it.
And Mabud's just gonna take your inhib as they take Baron, and
oh my God,
he might just end the game. Like, the Baron buff might come up, Mabud might just end this through bottom lane if they don't answer him.
Yeah,
they do go back. They send a couple people.
But he's just chilling. He has the Baron now. He will decide to back, but the Baron in the top lane, now is the time that they can really push with that. And the siege power on Dare is very strong, You have the Kindred, you have the Syndra, and you have the Varus.
They're going for something. They're going for the 2% play. The 2% play. Oh my! Oh,
Oh, that cinder damage is absolutely disgusting. But in the back
Oh,
line, though, there's a shutdown. Can Fresh get something going? He will get locked down, but he's still free flying. Grim is untouched here. Ooh, force shot almost takes him out. Gale Force Flash, triple kill for Hung right now as Koshkinen has to run from the rest of his team. Lots of shutdowns going into the pocket of Meme City, but the base right now is still in shambles as there's a super minion wave closing in on the Nexus towers. Hung popping off right there, managing to get some kills into his pocket. And that's one of the members you were looking for to have that damage, to be the savior with the Lord Dominix, with the Gale Force. Has a great amount of penetration and damage. Double buffed up now, so it's still very, very bad looking for Meme City in this game one, but that little fight right there gives them a little bit more hope, a little bit more sunshine coming through the window, so to speak, for this Meme City lineup in game one.
yeah,
Maybe Dare stepping a little bit too far forward.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jin double buffed up on a Monday afternoon. You picking up that shutdown gold, picking up the shutdown gold. I mean, that's hope, right? MCE or Meme City Esports go for that 2% play. They go for the all or nothing. They see something, they have to go and try it. And hey, they only lose half HP on their Nexus turret for getting what 4 shutdowns. It's like now they're gonna try to go into Mabud, but that guy is very, very tanky. He has the Cleaver, has the Hullbreaker, has the Divine Thunderer. You're not going to be able to kill him unless you send all 5. But now
Ooh, yeah.
you see Dare looking to end the game. They're going to play it out a little bit more conventionally. They're not going to step up, do anything too crazy. They saw that fight and they were like, wait, maybe we're throwing just a little bit. But Bud's going to get stunned up.
Yeah, they're just going for the end right here. They have multiple pushing lanes. They have Baron. They have the ultimate advantage, and this might be Curtain for the first game unless Frez and Hung can pull something off. Here comes the curtain call. There's the damage. You jump it into the backline. Trades 1-for-1 right now as Bud on a rampage, Hawkin on a killing spree. That cinder damage is insane. That's 2 down on the side of Meme City. It's just looking real grim. The wow! What's the way and shut down? But Hung is trying to go for it. He's trying to be the savior, trying to be the hero. Everybody's low, but Lamb's respite is there as he will go down and only Killering alive, but Seraphine versus Trundle and Kindred, not gonna happen, man. And that is Dare Black taking game 1 in this series. And Shibby, that was a pretty
Stomp.
scary
You can
performance.
say. You can say. Stomp the yard just happened. It's okay. It's fine.
Uh,
A little sloppy at the end from Dare Black, but they close it out. They get the game 1 victory. And if you're Meme City Esports, beautiful. How do you come out of this game? Do you try to build a comp that has more damage? Do you try to take away some power picks? I mean, like I said, they're playing with not a true mid laner, right? They have 2 support mains. Killering is a support, main on his OPGG. Maybe he has a secret mid account that is Diamond or Masters. I'm unsure, but just based off the information I have, the stats I have, this guy is mainly a supportive mid laner or a support player. Do you think they draft, more damage for on the side, on the side of the ADC? Do they draft maybe like a Lulu Kog'Maw composition or try to go for like a crazy hyper carry composition with a better scaling top laner? Do you think they go for a carry jungler angle? Like, how do you think Meme City Esports can get back into game 2, considering the composition they had game 1? Just like I said, it felt like they didn't have a lot of damage. It was literally just Jin picking up kills at the end there.
Yeah, I think, you kind of have to go. You can keep playing this whole quote unquote supportive mid laner composition and style. It's just you have to play around your stronger points more. They kind of went for those 2 ganks in the top lane, didn't go so well, but they didn't even really try to play around their bot lane. Like looking at it, it was really interesting because Hung went pretty even in this lane. The only one I was really it was afternoon I was getting killed. Hung stayed pretty even in CS, was able to keep damage up, and you saw what he's able to do in that last little bit, that last fight and whatnot. Had they actually, sent some more resources, more ganks down there, and tried to push Hung to get ahead, I think they could have fared better. I think they kind of picked themselves into a bad matchup with the Alistar and Braum, just allowing Braum to block everything that was happening, whether that be Seraphine abilities or Jin abilities or Alistar engage. So looking at that particular matchup, looking at their bot lane more, I do think they have something there. But that's up to be decided as we're going to go for a break. And when we get back, we'll be here for game 2 between Meme City Esports and Dare Black. We'll see y'all in a minute.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Aegis Vanguard League week three, game two of Meme City Esports versus Dare Black. Dare Black is on the blue side, while Meme City Esports is on the red side, and we did have, I believe,
Mid
a little
lane.
bit of sub action going on. So we have Trigger in the mid lane, and we have Killering in the support role, Jinchu in the jungle, Frez in the top lane, and Hung Nung in the AD carry role.
Yeah, just a mid-series change, is actually a thing. Substitutes are very useful. Please use them more if necessary. And don't flame people on Twitter for using substitutes. With
Oh,
that
that's
being
that's a
said,
deep cut. That's a deep cut right there. And I agree. I agree with that. Substitutes, role swapping, whatever you want to do.
yes.
I think it's all very viable. But let's get into the draft of game two. We have the Ziggs ban, the LeBlanc coming out from Dare, and we have Meme City Esports banning Graves, Viego. So just Graves is a power pick or a comfort pick for joggers here. He really likes to play that Graves. Taking away from him is very smart. I mean, he was effective on the Kindred. He was effective. He's been effective on a lot of other champions as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can really ban him out, but just getting him off of comfort is probably the right move. And the Viego is just one of those champions that you have to ban, I think, on red side. It's interesting to see Dare ban Ziggs. It looks like they don't want to play it at all. Banning it on blue is very interesting to me. Same thing with the Xin Zhao, right? I mean, these are the two of those champions that you want to get red side to ban for you, right? Either the Zin or the Ziggs, and you can just first pick that, but maybe they value a different first pick for them, a different B1, because, leaving that up, you do trade very strong R1, R2s if they are left up. So I think it's taking Ziggs out, taking Zinzao out. I mean, if I'm Meme City Esports here, I ban the Diana. Instead, they're going to ban Mabud's Trundle. So now I think if I'm Dare here, I take that Diana for joggers.
Yeah, go ahead and grab that. Please just pop it up just right there. And it's you know, it was such a pain, but they're
Ooh.
gonna go ahead and grab the Tom Kinch. The
And
Kinch is
MCE.
unbenched. Oh my
MCE
god.
banned Trundle as well, so they don't even have like a really
Oh,
good
counter.
solid counter to Tom Kench or soft counter. I think right now, my opinion is that Tom Kench is currently like uncounterable. Like you can try to play things like Mordekaiser into him or the Trundle and try to
Yeah.
negate him, do percent HP damage, but I just think it's really hard. I think Tom Kench is just very, very overtuned right now. Everybody was saying it when he first got released, when they saw all the changes. So they're gonna grab that one from a bud, and he definitely does play quite a bit of Tom Kench. As the
Yes.
Lulu is coming out for MCE, I don't know if they were paying attention, if they were tuning into the stream, but I did say, try to go for maybe a Lulu Cog. That's
Yeah.
something that could help shred that Tom Kench down. Lulu Cog is very strong. We're gonna see what they are too here. I like Lulu. I don't. It's not the worst R1. But you do open yourself up to, again, giving that Diana away. I don't know if Tristana was the priority here. I feel like Jinchu could have done a lot more work on a better jungler and grabbing him something that early. But now Dare has the ability to just pick whatever they want, and they're gonna get that Seraphine for themselves as well. And that's something Grim plays a lot. I think he has 2 games on it currently. Will does play it a lot in solo queue as well, so that's probably gonna go down into the bot lane. Can be flexed into the mid lane that we saw last game from MCE, but I have a strong suspicion that it's going to go to Grim. And we're going to see what they lock in for their third pick. They can lock the support. They can lock an ADC. They can lock a jungler. Like I said, I think you just take Diana here.
Yeah, the Diana would fit in very nicely. Just go ahead and grab that. Still super powerful, but super played. She just fits in a lot right now. And the pickup was there. We were talking about from Meme City. The pickup of Tristana would have preferred to see a cog, something like that. But they're gonna go with what they got. Kindred pickup for Dare Black. I like that. It's still super strong. Layering the ultimates. You have a decent amount of range and area control with the Seraphine, with the Kindred. Putting Wolf down does control an area very well. The Urgot. Okay, so that's
Ooh.
something I didn't actually think about. Urgot into Tom, I'm gonna assume.
Yeah, well, he does have the armor shred, I believe, on his Q
Yes.
along with the slow.
So
Can look to do like some shield shenanigans with his E. It'll just be interesting because Tom Kench is one of those champions that likes to really bait out like
all
low HP
cooldowns, yeah.
engagements. Yeah, because he can get the gray shield or the gray health get the shield off, gets the heal off with the Q. So that kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily negates it, but it does dissuade Mabud from just getting into that low HP range where Tom
Right.
Kench can kind of excel and look to bait you under his turret, or look to kill you with the unexpected healing.
Yeah.
Uh, Serpent's Fang is also a very good item that you can build onto Urgot. It's not a rush item, but it is
Yeah.
like something you can build maybe second or even third, depending on how many shields is going to pop up on the side of Dare. And Serpent's Fang is just a really cost efficient
It's
item.
yeah, it's such a cost efficient item, and it would do it
2600, you
right.
get AD, lethality, I believe, and you also get
Yeah.
the shield
It's
break
it's it's
passive. But
it's great. It's a great buy here. Like I was about to actually bring that point up. If
yeah,
Meme City does not actually elect to buy that item during this game, they're probably trolling because it does work against Tom's thick skin and gray health. It does work against Seraphine shields. So popping that would be grabbing that, especially for someone like Urgot, who can also use the Fear Beyond Death, as I've seen multiple times and has been seen in pro play, to grab people out of Kindred's Lamb's Respite. That can be a thing that can happen. So it's a very good pickup here as the last round of bans come in. Vel'Koz and Xerath ban. Interesting that they're going to think the Seraphine might go support rather than mid. It can still be a toss up here, but both of those artillery mages are out of here. Um,
yeah, those are sort of target
those
bands, I
are the
would
targets.
say.
Yeah,
Uh, Cos Keenan does play it. He has played a little bit
has played.
in the other games. He has played a bit of Xerath. The Elise is also a target ban onto Jinshu. That's a jungler ban, but he's just gonna opt in for the Hecarim, which I like Hecarim. I still think he's good. He's not that like roll your face over tank build that you usually saw back
Right.
very when he was OP. I think now you just straight up go Divine Sunder, Starex, the standard
Mhm.
80 build. He did get some 80 ratio changes, a lot on his abilities, his Q, his E. I think his E also got buffed a little bit. And I think Hecarim's in a good spot. He's not Omega busted or OP or anything, but he's still like a A tier jungler in my mind. Along with Udyr as well. I feel like both of those champions just fell out of the meta because everybody hated playing them, but I still think they're pretty good and they can still full clear. They can still do a lot of damage, especially for Hecarim, as we see the Gangplank, which was denied in game one, actually going to go onto the side of possibly Mabud. This is a
I
Tom Kench mid.
I see. I'm confused a little bit. I think it'd be more likely to be a gang. Ooh, wait, no.
Seraphine, Nautilus
Seraphine,
bot.
Seraphine Nautilus bot.
Gangplank top, Tom
Gangplank
Kench mid.
maybe. Gangplank and Tom Kench can definitely pull switch up duty, whichever they want to do. Um,
Ooh, is that an
Dare with a
Azir?
very yeah, that's gonna be the zero lock in. Okay, so Dare with a
Ooh.
very adventurous composition here. Um,
They're getting a little cute. They're getting a
they're
little
getting a little
cute.
cute. Yeah, they have some wiggle room. They're feeling themselves. So
I mean, these are champions that they play, right? Grim plays
right,
Seraphine. Mabud definitely does play Tom Kench.
Tom
I don't
Kench, yeah,
know if Koskinen plays a lot of Tom Kench. I don't know if he's practiced on the pick. Grim definitely does play a lot of or I'm sorry, not Grim. Mabud also plays Gangplank as well. That guy's
he does
champion
play. Yeah,
pool,
both of those are played by
both of them
Mabud.
are his picks. So we're gonna see where they elect to put these champions. But I really like Meme City's composition. It's
Yeah.
very late game focused. I like the fact that they have the Azir, they have the Tristana, they have the Lulu as well. I feel like Ardent Sensor is a must buy for Lulu, especially when you have Azir Tristana on your team. Just
Oh yeah.
amping up their attack speed, letting them attack even further, and letting Tristana hit that attack speed cap, possibly going Hail of Blades or press the attack. Has the Q plus Ardent Sensor is just going to give her a maximum attack speed and maximum DPS, and just having it on the Azir as well is so nice and giving that
Right.
survivability as well. I feel like the high point of Meme City Esports' team was that 80 carry. And laning phase didn't go too well for him, but in those late game fights, he was navigating them as well as they could, given the gold lead that they were so far behind. Now, you could argue that Dare Black was kind of throwing a little bit, or they were getting a little cocky and they weren't really focusing up, but it still takes, some skill to navigate these fights. And Hung Nung just playing that Jin, or the 80 carry role to as effective as he could in that game, given, the gold lead. I think putting him on Tristana, giving him the tools to carry is definitely a way you take a game off of Dare Black and possibly the series. As we do see the Tom Kench going into Koskinen's hands, so that is a mid Kench, and that is a
Mid Kench, yeah.
top Gangplank. And I like that they stayed flexible to the end. I like what Dare
Yes.
Black did. You know, most people probably thought, and obviously me and you thought, that it was going to go up to Mabud in that Tom Kench, but They kept it, hidden up until the end. They kept it flexible, and now they're just going to put Gangplank into Urgot, which, Gangplank is just going to be able to hit free grass procs and free Qs onto the Urgot with ease, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be, huh, it's gonna be interesting. Meme City, I really do like the composition. It does have a good degree of scaling though to make it actually come online with the Azir and the
Mhm.
Tristana, and for some sense the Urgot as well. You want them to get the two item type before they really come online and do the damage that they are going to be able to. Meanwhile, Dare, that's kind of scary. The Tom Kench just being wherever he wants to, whenever he wants to. Uh, and like with the changes made to him, he is still a pretty decent gank machine, but just so beefy and baits out so many cooldowns and can trick you, like you were saying, with that thick skin and with that shield. The bot lane should be an interesting matchup to watch, as Seraphine, Nautilus can be pretty annoying. And when you have the marksman jungler like the Kindred that Joggers is piloting, that just invites him to come gank down there a lot because that's double CC bot lane and double magic damage bot lane. And we'll have to see if Hung and Kellering can survive on that because both Tristana and Lulu, pretty squishy, can pop real easily.
Yeah, and that level 1 through 5 is going to be super, super crucial for them to get that push, that priority, if even possible. Because that window for Dare Black to kill that bot lane is those levels, right? Because once Lulu gets level 6, once Tristana gets I believe it's called the Buster Shot, is her R,
Yes.
her ultimate, right? That just provides so much survivability, so much safety in that lane, and it's going to be really hard to gank them. I mean, if you're Dare Black, you could just choose not to gank bot lane at all. You can go for top lane. You can go onto that Urgot if you want. um, Meme City did do a good job of denying stacks in the early game. Like we saw what happened early River, and we saw Frez, getting onto that Gromp and denying the Kindred stack. Obviously, Kindred or Joggers did get his stacks eventually as the game just got more and more out of hand, and in their control in terms of just gold lead. But if Meme City can play the early game a little bit better, they definitely do have the champions now to scale better into that mid to late game. Urgot, Tristana, Azir, all very, very strong champions in their own right. And then, have Hecarim to kind of bridge that gap where, he's pretty strong with the ghost and he can really duel that Kindred, right? Kindred likes to dodge abilities with the Q, with the wolf W and everything like that, and likes to be able to outplay you. But Hecarim's just one of those champions that he's so fast. He's going to E you. He has essentially a homing E. Like you can't really dodge it. His he's going to be up in your face. I mean, I feel like in the early game, this Hecarim will have the advantage, but once Kindred starts scaling up with more marks, it's going to be harder and harder for Jinshu to try to deny stacks or even, invade the enemy jungle if he wants to.
Yeah, it's gonna be like once it gets to that point, we're talking about the aggression that Meme City will be able to pull out once they get to that point. But it's gosh, this is so hard to gauge, like both aspects of both teams can do very well, but also can be pretty bad. Um, I want to say it's going to be the 2-0 for Dare Black. We're not so sure. We will have a vote in the chat later once we get the game. But for right now, we're going to send it to a break while we get these timers counted down and everything all synced up. So we will be right back for game 2 between Dare Black and Meme City Esports. Here we are getting into game 2 between Meme City Esports and Dare Black. Will it be a 2-0? Will we get to a game 3? Shibby, we are about to find out.
Yeah, and lining up the rosters on the blue side, you have Dare Black with Mabud in the top lane, Joggers in the jungle role, Koskinen in the mid lane, Grim in that bottom lane role, and John Francois in that support role. And I might not be able to speak. They might get Frez out here, who's playing top lane for Meme City Esports. We have Jinshu in the jungle, Trigger in the mid lane, Huangnung in the AD carry role, and Killering is now in the support role. So Afternoons is out, Killering is in the support role, and they got in Trigger in the mid lane, who is a more traditional mid laner and actually does play mid, as they might, still look to invade as Dare just gets some wards down. And I respect the attempt. I like the fact that they try to go for something and they got some vision down. Obviously, they did get spotted out. That means Meme City does get to put some vision into the enemy jungle as well, pretty much unnoticed. But maybe they'll just expect it to be warded. They should know that, Huang Nung and Killering did get some vision down at least a little bit, just either on the red buff or the Raptors. Nobody has the sweepers up right now, as Kindred used it to sweep possibly that top lane or somewhere around where they were. So we're going to see pretty standard jungle starts, both starting on the bot side here. They're probably going to meet up at that top crab, and we're going to see who has the priority in that top side, if it's going to be Mabud or if it's going to be Frez.
Yeah, priority looking to be the name of the game here. And one thing to note, Jinshu did take the ghost on the Hecarim, as we do see pretty commonly. But look at this early trade, though. See, that's the thing with trading into Urgot, you know, these matchups early, and that could be first blood as he is chasing onto him. Will be able to get away. No one wants to commit the flash for the flash yet. But yeah, those shotgun knees, baby, they be doing a lot of damage. And you can see that right there. As the early game for Gangplank, not really his strong suit. Early game for Urgot does very well. You know, as soon as he hits that level 3, has access to so much damage and the ability to kill you. And it gets scarier at level 6, that fear beyond death. So Meme City might want to look to play around him in his early game to get something down, to make sure this Gangplank that Mabud is piloting doesn't get off the ground early, and does have to force him in that late game scaling to get those barrel crits that he's looking for. Meme City, we were talking about their composition last game, you know, with the Olaf and the Renekton, and just how it didn't work out for them as well as they wanted it to. Maybe this time it can go their way, as you know, they have a pretty good fighting 2v2.
Yeah, and Mabud really needs to start, you know, getting grasp procs and getting that Q grasp proc. It's going to be really hard to fight into those shotgun knees. I don't think he'll be able to really exert a lot of pressure until he gets that Sheen and possibly Phage, and that way he can start trading into Frez a little bit more favorably. But yeah, that early game trade or mishap that happened to Mabud, it just really set him back in that lane, right? You forced him under tower. Now Frez has first look on that top lane, and it looks like
that's a charge. Yes, that's a charge going in. Will hit double buffs going over the side. Joggers, you know, that's the perks of playing a Kindred, is being able to hop over walls as Lamb does so nimbly. I believe they stole the Herald. No. I think, Joggers still got the Herald and got the mark.
No. The mark was actually in the bottom side, so they didn't even get a mark.
Yeah, so they did get the Herald. Now, Jinshu was going to get the mark on the other Herald on the opposite side of the map. I did see the mark pop up on a Herald, just couldn't remember which, or Rift Scuttle, just couldn't remember which one. So that's going to be first mark denial. I think it's the first 3 marks are like the most important for a Kindred, I want to say. And,
yeah, it's the first 3, that's when you start getting the range and everything like that. As the gank comes out on the bot lane, and I like this aggression that MCE is doing, Meme City, but they might be staying a little bit too long. You got to get out of there.
Well, they did get the flash out of Jean-Francois, who was taking exhaust rather than ignite. But the fight is still on, turning back on him. He is burning down as the ignite from Killering will get the first blood. Credit going over to Hong Nung, who did burn both summoners. Here's the Tom Kids gank, though, cost Kennen. TP's down, and Abyssal dives under. Will not get an assist, though, but the kill
gets nothing.
Yeah, I guess nothing for it, but the kill does go over to Joggers. As Frez and Mabud fighting.
See, there we go. The grass box starts going through it.
There, but damage.
That's a big wave. That's a big wave, Frez.
That's a big wave. Yeah, he has no mana, no health, no regen to go into that. He might have to back off here. That's Mabud stacking that wave very smartly, diving under tower, looking for it, does not get the charge. Does he get a power shot though? Forward. Oh, but the passive Gangplank will burn him down with the cut. And that is a very, very close kill going the way of Mabud.
Oh man, that orange bait was so nice. You saw him at the brink of death, baited the flash out, or got the flash out from Frez. Stone cold ice in his veins.
Speaking of bait, that's catfish bait right there. Kosh Kennen. Ooh man, almost got a quick kill right there. That was about to be close.
Yeah, Mabud has ice in his veins, man. Didn't even burn the flash. Was fully confident that he's gonna live through the tower shot, through his W, through all the damage that Urgot could try to bring out. I mean, that guy. I don't know. That's a very disciplined top laner. I feel like 9 out of 10 players would flash there. Gotten the kill still, but would have flashed out for sure, you know?
Yeah, for him to hold his flash, very, very smart there. So now Fez has no summoners to speak of, and Mabud has both. And Fez was really going to need to balance this wave. You can't just keep hard pushing into him like this, because this is going to give him exactly what he wants. Does proc the PTA, but this is not looking good.
Ooh, Jean-Francois
lands on the Killering, shields himself. as Jinshu steps up to get the charge back in. Here is Trigger. Ooh, the Stream of Shuffle pushes 2 in, but will it be enough damage? No, Koshkinen using the ultimate, which is now but here's no jumping in the side. The point blank into 3 people, gets the reset, can he get another kill? He'll go down and lands respite. Will save some lives. The heals are back. Trigger on the side, unable to get into this fight as he's watching his team fall down. He can't even help him out. That's gonna be 3 kills picked up right there. Joggers on a killing spree, and it's make that 4. That went completely the wrong way for Meme City. Could have gone great, but went bad instead as Dare pick up 4 kills and this dragon potentially. Oh my god, Shibby, what even happened there?
I don't know if Hung Noong is trying to do his best Cody-san impression, his best tactical impression. I don't know. He just jumped in, got a kill, but then he started staying in there, right? He definitely had the W reset, I want to say, but was just in there auto-attacking melee range. Blood is just going to solo kill friends out as well.
No steal, yeah. We'll get the solo kill. Now the fight is back on, right back at Dragon Pit. The Dragon was secured by Dare Black getting into there as John Francis, he doesn't know summoners to speak of. They're just going to walk him down. Jinshu is getting him low. Extra shield. Kill credit will go over to Hung. And yeah, that was, I mean, they get something back, you know, in response.
Hung Noong is 3-1. That is the saving grace. Yeah. The man is 3-1. He has a Lulu in his pocket as well. So as long as she gets that probably Ardent Sensor, I want to say that she should rush the Shirelias here just because they have so many champions that would love the move speed, right? Urgot, Hecarim, I mean, even Tristana to some extent would love that move speed, that initial burst, just to get in and try to, you know, look to get resets. But yeah, 3-1 on Tristana. A bit of a interesting play in that jump in, but overall is above in this lane. It is a Seraphine Nautilus lane, so I'm not going to expect them to huge win as Koskinen is going to get in. Has to burn the Emperor's Divide for that, actually. That is a trade I'm taking every single time. That W is like, what? Abyssal Dive's what, 20-second cooldown?
20, I don't know how many points he has into it right now, but yeah, it's at least a 20-second cooldown, and that's, oh god, that's really rough. Yeah,
20 seconds. Rank 1, too. Rank 1 is all 20 seconds, so you trade that every time. That's another Abyssal Dive coming in. That's just so much pressure, right? Even if it doesn't hit, it just forces you to get out of lane, and it's like, can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you were Trigger, you might want to adapt, maybe get a Wit's End. I've seen some Azirs building that in response to some threats like these. Koskinen will still like chase you down and basically beat you down as we go over the side, committing 4 people here. Gonna Abyssal Dive out. Not quite get out to safety as Hung is just going to jump straight in on him. Going to take a minute to kill him. That's that power of Tom Kent's we were talking about, you know? The ability to just bait cooldowns and take up so much time because it takes forever for him to die, that it just works out in their favor. It feels like a plus, but is actually somewhat of a negative. So that being said here, the gank is returned favor-wise as Joggers in the top lane, Fez 1v2, oh, there's the ultimates going down. Can't even get the Fear Beyond Death out. Joggers will claim the kill credit on a rampage. 4-0-2 on this Kindred here. Not even 10 minutes. That's terrifying.
And I'd love to toggle how many stacks she has if she was actually, you know, if Joggers is actually marking the right people as well. Yeah, at the 3 stacks already, 9 minutes into the game. He's on good pace as well. Gets his 4th stack. And yeah, 4 stacks, 10 minutes. Mabud might just live, actually.
Yeah,
he's not going to die. Mabud doesn't die.
Yeah, he takes those. He's going to flash out. He's going to live. 2-0-1 for Mabud. 4-0-1 for Joggers. Dare, we were talking about the complexness of this composition that takes a good amount of skill to execute, and you guys are doing it admirably. 8-5 in this early game, just past the 10-minute mark. Yeah,
it is looking better for MCE though. At the 10-minute mark, they were down like what, 4K, 5K gold. Right now, they're only down about 1.7 or 1.7K gold, I'd like to say. So not the end of the world. I mean, like I said, they have Hung Noong in that Tristana 3, 1, and 2. They have that Lulu that is eventually is going to build Ardent Sensor. So yeah, it is looking a little, not, I wouldn't say bleak or grim. It is looking rough for MCE here. Joggers 4-0-2. Mabud is 2-0-1. Even Tom Kench is 2-1-1. So, you know, winning top side, winning solo lanes versus a winning bot lane. And we're going to see how much, you know, utility Grim can provide on the Seraphine, a champion that he played already twice. So they definitely have this composition down. They definitely have some of these pieces practiced for sure. It's just, you know, the Tom Kench mid, the, you know, maybe the Nautilus bottom lane. I mean, some of these champions that fit into
Unconventional
this.
champions, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say unconventional necessarily, just like definitely like a composition that like in cohesiveness. Like you look at it, it's like what does Dare's comp
What
do really
yeah.
well? It looks like it can tank. It can take extended fights really well. But I feel it should have been like the early game should have not been theirs. As oh my god, he's getting licked up.
He's getting licked up. Then Burst of Vibe popped once again and has to shuffle on out of there. Trigger's just not having a fun time against Koshkinen. And it's not like he's like super far behind. He's up 20 in CS. Does have a kill and assist to his name, but it's just so annoying to have to deal with this Tom Kinch, who could just take so much of your damage up front and still do a considerable amount back. That's the power of this champion, and it's showing up here as Dragon will be spawning here in 15 seconds. It will be an Ocean Drake, so that means we're getting an Infernal or Mountain Rift here, as Meme City seem to be in position to try and counter this, as Dare is pushing pressure on the bot side tower. Yeah, the Dragon is spawned, but oh man, it's only Jinshu. They're gonna have to give this one away, as there's no way they can fight this with how strong Joggers is right now. It's just not gonna happen.
I agree. I mean, it's one of those dragons where you can afford giving away, but now they're going to get early Infernal Dragon stacking, right? It's going to be 8 minutes till Dragon Soul, a 20-minute Dragon Soul if they look to just take it on time. But Bud is just going to get another solo kill?
What?
No, okay.
Will get out, and Frez panicking, throwing out the Fear Beyond Death and completely whiffing that ultimate. So that's another ultimate for ultimate trade. Cooldowns are there. I do believe Mabud's is going to come up faster than Frez's. So he's 0-3 on this Ergo. We're talking about how good it was going to be, and it's just not showing up to be useful in this matchup.
Well, we thought it was going to go into the Tom Kent, right? That's where he had a chance.
Right. Yeah.
And then I initially called that the fact that Mabud would have an easier time once he starts getting the Sheen, once he starts getting the grass procs in. That early game mishap where he got super, super low, just the patience and just the will to pilot that and able to bounce back from what should have been, not necessarily a one lane for Frez, but should have been a lot harder for Mabud. Just able to bounce back and really just put the lane in his favor and get a solo kill onto Frez, as well as calling his jungler. And Mabud is just like I said, he's a very, very strong top laner. I've seen him play in different leagues, and he is usually very, very consistent. He's not the guy that'll ever lose you the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's definitely showing up here. Definitely seeing signs of that in the series, as 2 Herald charges, 1 for the mid tier 2, 1 for the mid tier 1, as we're looking for a gank here. Killering is trying to play the bait game, but Hung will be spotted out. Will be stunned up, but they're in the wrong side of the jungle. As here is Koshkinen. They are fighting. Lamb's Respite has been popped. Stream Shuffle to push them out of the Respite. Will get the heal. Will get the shutdown. Hung Nung over the side, hopping in, has the reset available. Now they're in a bad spot.
Jumping in.
The DPS is coming out from both sides.
Hung Nung
on the trigger. That's a triple kill going into the Tristana's pockets. That's a good pickup for Meme City Esports, and I have seen one. Streaking with gold lead, getting these shutdowns, but very good on Dare to get a kill in return. 4 for 1 overall. Yeah,
Hung Nung looking very well endowed here. 6-1-3 on that Tristana, as he's just looking like a menace, right? Once he gets that Ardent Sensor, once he gets those other items that he can build, he doesn't even have his Mythic yet, right? He's probably going to go for the Kraken Slayer here as well. He's just going to be shredding, possibly through Koskinen and John Francois. And that was just an untouched Tristana, right? She got out, got the flash, I believe, onto the Kindred, was able to pick up that kill, jumped in, got another kill, jumped out. Like, look, this man's playing with no fear in his eyes.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, he hadn't backed in a hot minute since, he got that first triple kill and gotten all those the Noon Quiver and the boots and whatnot. The man just got 3 kills and tower gold, one of which was a shutdown, or I think 2 of which were shutdown. So he hopped back, got Kraken Slayer, finished his boot, picked up a Zeal as well as some swords. The man is actually complete. Like, you would say they're online, this man is actually, it's really scary. Now it turns into protect the puppy comp, and this puppy has a big bite right now.
Yeah, and really, I'm going to see how MCE navigates these fights, how they're going to look to, protect Hung Nung here. If they're all just going to go kamikaze dive in, right? You have the the Hecarim, you have the Shurima Shuffle, you have the Urgot that wants to just kind of get into the middle of the team using his shotgun needs. He might just lose this 1v1. He's
Yeah,
probably
that's
lose
a,
this 1v1
that's a
with Koskinen.
loss. Oh, that's a loss. They're gonna push him into tower range as Frez does not have the damage. Can he get out of range of it? He can. Will dash out. Does not. There's the proc.
Licking a bush.
Yeah, looking the bush. He can't get out though. There's no way. He does bring the flash too. I would have just saved it as I know I'm gonna die here. Dodge the tongue lashing. He's still running. Wait, he's looking for it. Does get the shield.
No, Frez!
Oh my
Mabud comes in.
Ruining the 1v1. Goes on the cannon barrage. Saves Koskinen's life there potentially as Frez. He thought he was doing it. He was looking hopeful. But man. Gangplank Global, baby.
That was looking very scary, right? And that is, he almost did that with a Tiamat, plated steel caps, and a giant spell, right? Well, on the side of Koskinen, he's got the Iceborne Gauntlet or the Frostfire Gauntlet, has the Spectral Cowl, I believe is what it's called.
Yes.
And then also has like a freaking plated steel caps as well. Like, that was a lot closer than it should have been for Koskinen. I don't know if he's playing with his food a little bit or not. But this dragon is coming up, this Infernal Drake, and they're going to look on the side of there to secure this. And they're here first. They got the inside track, and oh, Hungnung.
Oh, he is a little bit forward, but yeah, this dragon is spawned. There's just no way you're going to take this from a multi-snap kindred. 5 kills, has their Hurricane and their Kraken Slayer, and they just can't walk in. They have to get some sort of ace, some sort of fight before they can try. And it's really bad, because now they're on Soul Point. We're looking at a 20-minute or something Baron here. That's not one, and it's an Infernal Soul. That's not something I would want to give over to a Kindred and a Gangplank for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very early, you know, not very early, but an early enough Infernal Soul. And they can also cycle the objectives, right? Baron, like you said, is coming up in a minute and a half, roughly, a minute 45, and then they can turn their sights possibly towards this Infernal Soul as well. Now, this game is looking a lot better than game 1. This game is a lot closer. At 18 minutes, you know, they were down 8K gold lead in game 1. Right now, they're only down about 4K, which is quite a bit. But if Hungnung can, you know, navigate these fights, if they can get onto the objectives maybe a little bit earlier, if they can catch somebody out, they definitely have a way back into this game. It's not over. It's not looking doomed like it was in game 1. Well, on the side of Dare, they just have to play around Joggers and Koskinen. They just have to play around this immense side lane pressure that Mabud and Koskinen can do, right? A 1-3-1 here would be very, very advantageous for them. Nobody can really match them. They have to send more than one person to match Mabud and Koskinen. So we're going to see if they can play this 1-3-1 pressure out, if they want to opt in to play this sort of split push you and spread you apart or spread you thin. Where on the side of MCE, they really want to group. They really want to just dive somebody together.
Yeah, and now Frez has the Titanic Hydra completed. That's not a mythic, that's a legendary. I don't know what mythic he's trying to go for here on the side.
You could go Gore Drinker, you could go Stride Breaker.
Right.
I feel like Stride Breaker is a little nerfed now, but it's not the worst on somebody like him.
Yeah.
Gore Drinker is not bad. You could also go Divine Thunder, but I believe the interaction works with him since it's different because he's a ranged champion, so he doesn't actually get the full benefits of like a melee Divine Thunderer. So has a lot of different build paths, but right now he's looking like he is just gonna actually be out.
He's getting exactly.
Oh no, he's dead.
Let's get charmed up. Will get taken down. The fight is ensued, and it's not one that Meme City can win, as it's multiple kills and there's a shutdown. There's the triple kill.
Just look to end with this
could be the
Shelly.
End. Yeah, Shelly is still alive, and they're taking down this tower, and that's 4 going on 5 dead for Meme City as Dare. They just switched it up, and there's a pentakill for Joggers. The man is just absolutely cracked, and his team is on cloud 9. Not literally, but you know what I'm talking about. As they're going to take this ending, TP onto Shelly, keep her alive. She did well. As the towers are gone, we're going to get a Dancing Rift Herald here in game 2.
20-minute game. And yeah, that was a really odd pentakill from Joggers. It was like he got some of the kills in the mid lane. It looked like a fractured fight, and then he got like a very late penta for onto Killering, right? I mean, congratulations. I mean, obviously, Joggers, that was a really nice, well-executed Jungle Kingdom on the side of Dare Black. I mean, the man went 10-1. He performed exceptionally well. 2 games on the Kindred. Really, really nice. Mabud played really well. I feel like everybody on the side of Dare played really good. I don't have any gripes necessarily. Like, yeah, their ending in game 1 was a little sloppy. They definitely could have ended a little sooner, and they definitely did throw a little bit And this game was obviously closer, but at the same time, at the like the flip of a switch, they just aced him and then just killed him, right? It was just
They
like
were
Dare was just like, okay, I don't want to play anymore. I want to go to sleep. Let's go. And then they just
yeah,
instantly catch Urgot out. And it felt like whatever steam, whatever air or whatever gas that, you know, Meme City had was instantly deflated. Like that fight, like just the way it happened, it felt like
yeah,
Dare was just they were more cohesive. They stacked their abilities together, they stacked their CC, and it felt like Meme City was just kind of playing like a bunch of people that haven't really like scrimmed together, that kind of just running around with, kind of like a solo queue environment almost.
yeah. Man, them challenger junglers, I tell you what, joggers absolutely turning it up there at that end. Jungle diff, whatever you want to call it. It's just Dare Black baby, and still at the top of the table here in this Noxus group. And you clearly see why. It's all there, all in the video evidence for you guys. So with that being said, we're done for the day.
Are we gonna
Go
do
get some
interviews?
dinner. Do we have an interview? Do we
Do
have
we
someone
have
to
an
raid?
interview? Do we have an interview ready, Mike, or do we want to do an interview? I mean, I have an MVP.
We do
It's a
have an
toss up.
MVP.
It's a
Yeah,
toss up, right?
yeah,
I know it's between these two people, and I might be doing recency bias. Like, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
My bud played really, really well in game one. That Toronto pick was amazing. He stomped his lane. He played again really, really well in that top lane with the gangplank in game two. But I just feel like that dominant performance from Kindred in that game two. And he also played pretty well in game one as well. It wasn't like he was playing bad. Like, he was getting his stacks, he was getting the kills, he was providing. I feel like my MVP does have to go to joggers, but it's like 1A, 1B for me, right? It's
Yeah,
joggers and then Mabud. Like, either of them could have taken it, in
yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
Maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a jungle main. That's most likely it.
I feel that. Bud just came in, did what he need to. But with that being said, week three complete. We will see y'all next week here, same time, same place with another dope matchup. But for now, we're gonna rate our buddies over here at Elemental League. So don't switch off. Go show them some love. Y'all have a wonderful night, and we will see y'all next time.
Follow everybody on social media. Follow Aegis Vanguard. Follow Aegis League. Beautiful Crow. Pwn Star should be at Quanta. Get everybody. Get in here.